Ms. Silvana, those who are joining us today, they are teachers, most of them. Majority of them are teachers. They are from schools all over Malaysia, not just my state, but other states in Malaysia, from vocational colleges, from secondary schools and primary schools. So this is definitely a good opportunity for us. And I'm just going to go through your bio very quickly. So Miss Silvana, she's a Global Teacher Prize finalist in 2018. That's the world's most prestigious teacher award. You can Google it. It offers 1 million USD to one winner every year, and we're going to have the 2023 finalists announced very soon. So Miss Silvana, according, she can't. Um, just wait a sec. Gina, can you turn off your microphone? No, because my student is sitting next to me, and they are logging in too. You turn off the microphone of your laptop. Sorry. So, yeah. So, Miss Silvana, according to her bio on Global Teacher Prize, can you guys still hear me? Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Yeah. I hope so. And somebody is commenting that he cannot hear it. Okay, so Miss Silvana, she's an accomplished teacher. She introduced a variety of um, Salma. So so we experienced. So she introduced a variety of techniques in her classroom teaching. She included literature, theater, drama, drawings, digital poster production, filmmaking, and all sort of things, and to give her students a voice and also to help them to express themselves, which encourages creativity. And she also has been working globally with teachers and students across the globe. And I think what she is going to share with us today is going to be about her global project, which we all can join as teachers. And so this profile was from 2018. It's been about 5 to 6 years ago. I'm sure Miss Silvana has accomplished a lot more, which she's going to share. And she also has written and published a book. You can Google the link. The link is in our chat box. I'm going to copy and paste it again later so you can keep track of that. So you can buy the book. It's in Spanish, but don't worry. With the technology nowadays, we can just translate pretty much anything, and I'm sure you guys are all eager to learn Spanish. So yeah, so I'm just going to stop sharing the screen now, Miss Silvana. So I'm going to give the screen to you, the floor to you, Miss Silvana. So feel free to share it. We are eager to learn so much from you.
Okay, thanks a lot. I hope you find that session valuable. Well, my session is called Learning with Others, My School, Your School. Our agenda for today would be to talk about, on the one hand, about telecollaborative projects, the principles and the benefits of telecollaboration. Based on that is that I decided to create a project many years ago in which schools from all around the world can still join. And this project is called My School, Your School, which is, of course, a telecollaborative project. Well, first of all, let's talk about telecollaboration. Well, we all understand what collaboration is, but we add this idea of telecollaboration. What is it? It is the idea of having two or more groups of students which are located in different places of the world and that are working together on a project on a specific area of knowledge, and they work collaboratively through the benefits that today give us technological tools that we can use in our classrooms. When I mean technological tools, I'm speaking of tools for communication, tools for creating products, tools for sharing products. Then we are going to discuss some of them later. Well, What are the main goals of telecollaboration? Well, first of all, to make students aware of the similarities and differences across cultures. There is an author called Michael Serres, who wrote a book that's called Pulgarcita in Spanish, that is the name of a character, and he said that we cannot respect others if we don't know them. So, in order to respect other cultures, it's necessary to know them and to learn about them. So, as teachers, this is a must for us. If we want to encourage tolerance in the world, we need to make our students get to know people from other cultures. The second goal of telecollaboration is to connect students with real-world global problems for them to find solutions collaboratively. There is a strong need to make bonds between the school topics, and the problems or the issues in students' communities and in students' real life to make school life more meaningful for them. And the third goal is to develop students both 21st century skills and soft skills. Both groups of skills are very important for students to develop in their academic world, in the working world they have ahead. Judy Harris, in many years ago, in 1998, had created a classification for telecollaborative projects depending on the activity structures they proposed. And he spoke of three groups. One of them, and the most basic one, were the information exchange projects, in which students only exchanged personal and cultural information. I don't know if you remember, but many years ago, we talked about pen pals. What was the idea of pen pals? Well, students had to send letters to different parts of the world, and they received letters from students in other countries, talking about their personal lives, talking about their habits, talking about the countries they lived in. Well, now, through the coming of technology, we speak not of pen pals, but of T-pals, with the association of technology and the computers. So these exchanges go online, but these kind of projects still go on speaking only about personal and cultural information. That's what we say, that they are the simplest projects to carry out, but perhaps not so meaningful as the projects in the other two categories, that are the data collection projects and the problem solving projects. In the case of the data collection projects, all the participants in the project collect data about a certain topic, a certain area of knowledge, collaboratively, and then they have to share the results. And finally, the problem-solving projects, students not only exchange information about their answer first, because that is the beginning of any telecollaborative project, but they also collect data because they do research, but with that research they collected, they try to solve problems in their community for them to be a help for global problems in the world. For example, what I mean with this is the idea that suppose students start studying forest fires in their communities or floods in their communities. Well, it is an excellent idea to make students aware of what's happening in the world with those problems and how other people at the other end of the world try to solve those problems or try to avoid those issues. Well, just to give a little bit information about myself and why I chose this example, I am very much involved with the Sustainable Development Goals, and mainly with all those goals that are related to the environment. I have part in a project on climate change for many years, a project which is also enrolling students nowadays. And that project is also featured completely in my book. Another author, Marta Libendisky from Argentina, in 2011, she talked about the collaboration dynamics that can occur in these telecollaborative projects. The idea is how students collaborate during the process and for the creation of the final product in the project. Because as we all know, project-based learning is based on process and product. Students work collaboratively during the whole project to create a final product that in most cases nowadays is digital, and in the case of telecollaborative projects, it needs to be digital, at least videos, photos, because it needs to be shared. And some of the dynamics she mentioned were mirror dynamics, that is the idea that we have two groups of students in different parts of the world working on the same topic. And then at the end, during doing research in their end, and then sharing the results at the end of the project. Another dynamic is complementary dynamic. As the name makes it clear, you have different groups of students creating different parts of the final product. And then all the pieces are put together by one group that acts as the leader of the project. But students need to be very responsible, because if one of the participating groups stop contributing to the project, then part of the project will be missing. Then you have mosaic dynamics. These kind of projects are the easiest to carry out. Why? Because we have one collaboration space and all the participating groups collaborate, posting their final products there. So if you have many schools participating, if one of the schools doesn't send the material they had created, the project can go on all the same, and students can still learn from other groups. Then another collaboration dynamics is what she called joint dynamics. In this case, you have all the students in the group working together to create the final product. So there is a strong point in collaboration. And finally, sequential dynamics, because in the sequential dynamics, the final product is divided in little parts. For example, I had my students participating in a project that was called a storybook. So one of the students in different countries had been divided into the different parts of the book. So for example, students in one country had to design the cover of the book. Then, having the cover of the book, the second participating country had to write the prologue for the book. Then 3 or 4 countries had to organize themselves to write the story the book was going to tell. And then you had a final contributing country that had to write the epilogue for the book. And the last part was for those who had to design the back cover of the book. So those are the most famous collaboration dynamics. From all of them, if it is the first time you are taking part in a telecollaborative project, I would advise you to follow either the mirror dynamics, because there are only 2 groups participating, or the mosaic dynamics, because all the participating groups contribute to a collaboration space, and there is no fear of failing because one of the contributors stopped sending their material. Which are the steps to follow to make a successful telecollaborative project? Well, first of all, you have to present the project to your students. I always make a point in saying that it's important to take into account students' interest when we are going to involve them in a project. Because if you involve them in a project, you make and they are interested in the topic, you make sure that they will continue participating and that their motivation will be up for the whole process. Because telecollaborative projects tend to last more than 2 weeks. From 3 to 6 weeks are the ideal time for a project to be successful. Because if the project is too long, motivation starts falling down. And if the project is too short, you will have to put up with the frustration of not being able to complete things in terms of time constraints. And you will have the feeling that you are always running behind the project. Then, once the project is presented to students, you always need to work in groups. When the methodology of project-based learning was born, it was born as a methodology to work in groups. So you have to form the groups. Students can form the groups. That will depend on your choice. Sometimes, if it is the first time you are dealing with this methodology, it's a good idea to allow students to form their own groups, because again, we are giving them voice and choice, and they will work more comfortably if they work with the people they get on well. Although, when time goes by, it's necessary for you to encourage them to work with other people, because if we say that we are preparing students for their working life, mainly those secondary school teachers, you will need to prepare them to work with people they don't know, to work with people they don't get along so well. So it's important to change the routines for group formation. If it is the first time, you can even assign roles inside a group. When we speak of roles, we can have one participant being the coordinator, one participant being the time recorder, one participant being the editor, and one participant, suppose, being the presenter, depending on the product the project is requiring. Well, once the project had been presented and the groups had been formed, you need to go to the first real step, that is the moment of doing research. Every project starts with a big question that needs to be answered by the end of the project, or if it is not a question, a problem that needs to be solved by the end of the project. So students do research, of course, using technological tools. Now they have many tools available. We can also include artificial intelligence, because we cannot leave it behind. And then, with all that information collected in the research part of the project, students start creating the final product. The final product may be a presentation, maybe a video, maybe a piece of art, maybe a short story. Everything will depend on your subject, because we can say that project-based learning is a methodology that can be adapted to any subject, and telecollaborative projects too, because the difference would be that the participants in the projects will be people, students, who are located in very different parts of the world. Although that is not necessarily the case, because you can make a telecollaborative project working with a school that is 10 blocks from your own school, and then that project can start with a face-to-face meeting and can end with a face-to-face meeting, whereas the rest of the process is done online. The rest of the collaboration is done online. And finally, once the project is created, it's important to go back to the community with the product that resulted from that project. So the idea of project-based learning is that the problems or the issues the project deals with should come from the community, and the results should go back to the community with something physical or with something digital. Or, for example, it could even be a prevention campaign. It could be an awareness message. So you have very different products that can be a result of projects. In the different parts of the project, you can have different technological tools. Of course, I only included some examples. There are hundreds, yes? Well, for the first part, that is the research, I included Google Forms. In Google Forms, you can collect data, you can collect information from many people. Students can design the form with the questions that are interesting for the product they have to create. And it will be easier for them to collect the results because they can even obtain different kind of graphic designs such as pie charts or bar charts. Then there is Mentimeter. I hope we can use it at the end of this talk, in which you can put a question and you can limit the number of answers that repliers will give. And with that information, a word cloud can be created. You can also create surveys. Then you have technological tools for collaboration. And in telecollaborative projects, we speak of synchronous and asynchronous collaboration. So when we think of asynchronous collaboration, students don't need to be connected in real time. So for example, a tool that I use a lot is called Flipgrid. And it is a tool in which students can record a 90-second message. So you will learn what the students want to say through the voice of students, although they are not connected in real time. In my case, I didn't say so at the beginning, but I teach English as a foreign language. That's my area of knowledge. So this is a very useful tool because I can listen to students speaking in the language they are learning. And then another tool that most of us know already, mainly because of the pandemic, is Zoom, that as Google Meet, both of them allow us to have synchronous communication. Sometimes it's not easy in telecollaborative projects to have synchronous communication because of time differences. Well, for example, something that is happening to us today. You are already at night and it is the morning in my country. So sometimes because the students are out of school, synchronous communication is a bit hard to achieve. Then you have the moment of creating the final product. So for production, you can use Padlet, you can use Murali, you can use Canva, as I used it to create this presentation, to replace the typical tools such as PowerPoint, for example. And then the moment comes for sharing knowledge. I decided to include their Padlet because for me it has many benefits at the time of creating final products, at the time of collaborating, and at the time of sharing results. And Sway, which is a more dynamic tool than PowerPoint, also powered by Microsoft. Well, the benefits of these telecollaborative projects for me are many, but I decided to include mainly 4. Teamwork, because students learn to work with others, moving from cooperation to collaboration. And why do I make this difference? Because cooperation is a step behind collaboration. Students learn, you have to teach them to cooperative, and then little by little, they will start collaborating. It means that they won't need your help as a guide so much at the moment of collaborating with others. Another benefit is leadership. As I said, I work with many projects related to sustainable development goals, and today we need leaders, current leaders and future leaders, for that United Nations agenda to be fulfilled. So students, by participating in these kind of projects, they learn to lead in topics of global interest. Cultural awareness is another key point. Students become aware of cultural differences, developing in that way global empathy. And last but not least, digital literacy, because students develop their digital skills during the project process, and they also show their digital literacy in the creation of the final outcome of the project when they are sharing their, the product of the project. Well, my school, your school, my project. A little bit about the history of this project. This project was born as the last task in the first course I attended on the topic of creating telecollaborative projects. So that was the project I dreamt of in 2005. Pay attention to the numbers of years that have gone by, and this project is still on the internet, and more than 200 schools have been part of the project around the world. The logo of the project was created at that time by one of my students. That student today is 32 years old. Unfortunately, I am still in contact with her. Well, what was the main goal of the project? To make students familiar with the educational system in different parts of the world, but through similarities and differences in school life, that is, in their daily life as students. The project summary. Students have to look into their own schools. Students do research in their own school in order to share what the school life is like at their place. By doing that, they reinforce their sense of belonging, because there are sometimes things, important things about their own schools that they don't even pay attention to, and that they don't even remember, and that they remember when they read about other schools in the world. So they learn about school life in different parts of the world, and they acknowledge similarities and differences. Well, talking about, talking about artificial intelligence, that little school you can see in my presentation was created with a tool with artificial intelligence that is called auto draw or quick draw. Well, you can draw a school or anything you want by hand, and the artificial intelligence improves the layout of that drawing you make. So that's a good tool when you think of projects in which students need to draw, because sometimes they feel they cannot do it. So, well, there is a way they can do it. They can give their idea to artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence can help them with that. Well, now, before I spoke about the typical phases in a telecollaborative project. Now I am going to speak about the phases in my project. So, phase one, teachers' introductions. In order to make students collaborate with one another, it's important for us teachers to be able to collaborate with other teachers around the world, because we are the ones who need to put the project in movement. So we need to create a feeling of community among project participants, and we are the responsible for that. So after teachers introduce to one another, students have to introduce themselves. That is a second phase of any telecollaborative project. And in these introductions, students can include personal information, students can include information about their community, their country, because culture is a basic point in telecollaborative projects. Then we move directly into the content of the project. So if the project is called My School, Your School, the important thing to highlight are the different school aspects. So students will do research in different aspects of their school lives, such as celebrations, school facilities, school projects, school meals, school uniforms, school history, school badges, the typical school celebrations, religious celebrations, civic celebrations. Then projects have an important phase that sometimes teachers tend to forget. Teachers tend to make students create their own products and publish their own products. But phase 4 is very important because it is the moment when students learn from others. Well, in this project in particular, students learn from others by doing schools virtual tours. The idea is that teachers should encourage students to look at the material posted by other schools, because that is the way they will learn about them. And always there is a closure for the project that has to do with what they learned, with what they are taking from that project. So in this case, students had to make a video saying what they had learned from their school friends. And as a teacher there, you can decide if you want students to talk about all the schools they had virtually visited, or if they had to focus in a school of their interest or in a school of a specific country. That is your decision according to your subject, according to your interest in the project. It is a very simple project to participate because, for example, the longest part of the project is to deal with the school aspects. But you will see later when I show you a Padlet, a digital mural about this phase, that there are many topics. So as a teacher, depending on the time you have available, you can decide if you make students work on 1, 2, or all the aspects proposed. You can even divide your class into different groups, and each of the groups can be working on a specific aspect. So in that way, you have information about all the aspects, but you save time because you have students working on different aspects at the same time. Well, the collaboration spaces I had chosen for my project are 2. For phase 1, a WhatsApp group. Once teachers, enroll to participate in the project through a Google form, I collect the information and I allow them to join a WhatsApp group. So there, teachers start introducing themselves, talking about the groups they are going to participate with, and stating where they are from. And then from phases from 2 to 5, students work in different Padlets that I will show you in a minute. This is, as the project is just starting for this term, I am enrolling participants. That's why at the end of the session, I will invite you to join the project. This is a mural taken from a previous group of participants. So there you have the first Padlet in which schools, teachers, and students introduced themselves. This teacher, for example, this teacher from Belarus took part in a previous session, and now she has already enrolled to participate again with another group of students this term. So I'm happy about this, and I want to share it because it means that teachers find the project valuable. That's why I'm inviting you to join it. Then, so here you can see the presentation of the school as a whole, but not in details. Then, in the second Padlet, for the next phase of the project, you have some questions to explore, to help students explore the school. And then you have different sessions: school facilities, school history, school badge, its meaning. And if you go down the Padlet, you will see the products created by the different schools. As you can see, some students uploaded videos in which they didn't include their personal participation. In other cases, students took part in the videos and they recorded themselves. For example, there we see a boy explaining the meaning of the school badge. Then we have another student asking about the marks in the different countries. And then I will show you the Padlet. Then we had another Padlet for students to record a video stating what they learned from the other schools. So, for me, these are the 21st century skills developed in this project. Creativity, because students had to be creative at the time of presenting their own schools to the world. Of course, there is a constant process of communication and collaboration because the students need to negotiate meaning all the time with students in their own school while they are in the process of creating the final product, and also with students from other parts of the world when they are sharing the final product. Problem solving, because they have to face many problems in relation to the different steps in the process of the project. Critical thinking, because at the moment of doing the virtual tours of the different schools, they have to be open to different cultures, to different mindsets, and they have to be respectful of them, and they have to look at them with a critical view. That, of course, develops empathy and global citizenship. Students become leaders in different parts of the project because each of them will make an important contribution for the obtention of the final product. And of course, they develop the literacy skills we were talking about. Well, this is my invitation for you to join the project if you liked it. That is the form you can complete. You can get it from the link, and you can also get it from the QR code. Well, thanks a lot, and I hope you have found the session valuable. I will stop sharing this screen, and I will share with you a Mentimeter Let me see if I can do so.
Yeah, you can copy and paste it on the chat box, I think.
Yes, let me see. I'm going to share.
Yeah, it's a good session.
Yes, let me. Okay. There you can see my question for you today. What are you taking from this meeting? And there you have the code. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. Is there any link, Miss Silvana?
For the yes, I will share it in
Okay.
a moment. Just give me a
I think
moment.
it's on the top of it.
Yes.
Mentimeter. Yeah, I think it's on the top of it. Let me try this. But it's 5571.
Yes, I'm going.
557113.
Yes. 557. That is the number. 5571. And I also copy a link in the chat box.
71. Okay, yeah, everybody, so click on the link, or you can just Google Mentimeter.
Or you can just Google Mentimeter and inside the code.
Yeah, and do give your, what is your takeaway from this session? What did you learn from it? I'm sure you guys, I'm sure we have learned a lot. So yeah.
Meanwhile, you are giving your opinion about the session. Perhaps if you have questions, you can copy the questions in the chat, or you can give voice to any of the participants.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Clarify any doubt.
So if you have any questions, you can, or feedback, you can write it on the chat box, or you can also, I think, use the Mentimeter. Yeah. So Ms. Silvana will be happy to respond to your questions and feedback, everybody. Okay, so there's a question, Ms. Silvana.
Yes.
Is there an age group of students to participate in this project? Is there any like age limit or age range for the students?
You can participate from kinder to secondary school. That's the ideal. Yes, kinder, primary and secondary school. But I have to say that last year we had students participating from 2 teacher training colleges.
No, okay, tertiary education students, yes.
Yes.
Teacher trainers, teacher
Yes.
trainees, yeah. So adult learners, yeah.
Because, for example, in the case of kinder, they can participate through pictures, for example.
Oh, okay.
Through pictures, through videos. They don't need to, it's not that they need to write, yeah? They have different ways of participating. Because today, we also have many tools in which students can speak and they can record their voices. So, before, at the very beginning, it was a kind of limitation, but nowadays, with all the technological tools we have many different possibilities to participate.
Exactly. So, Miss Silvana, somebody, Yu Pui Quent, she wants to participate in your project. She wants to get her students to participate in your project, and she's a secondary school teacher. So,
I share the link. I don't know if you got it. If not, I can share it for her to enroll.
I actually put the links on the chat box. I can copy and paste again.
Yes, I will share it in a minute, and you can join it. We have a participant group that is being created just for teachers, as I was saying, with the WhatsApp group. So you can join. You can join there. Just give me a second that I will share the link.
I think the WhatsApp group will be helpful. I just joined it. Sorry, Miss Silvana.
Yes, the WhatsApp group would be also helpful. You're right. I will share that link.
So I think it's very
and
helpful.
You can introduce yourself there directly.
So, Miss Silvana, there's also somebody, I think Teacher Lila. She's quite concerned with the difference in the time zone, so it can be difficult.
Yes, I will make a point. Just give me a minute.
Okay, yeah.
This is the WhatsApp to join the project.
Yeah, so
there you can introduce yourself, saying your name, your country, and the age of the students you are going to participate with, and the name of your school.
Exactly. So everybody click on those links, join the WhatsApp group.
Yes. And well, talking about time differences, there is much of the project that can be done in an asynchronous way. In fact, in this project, I am not asking for synchronous communication because I know that it may be a problem. Because, for example, some schools give permission for students to connect from home. Other schools don't. For example, even at my school, in order to make students connect synchronously with other students, I need to ask permission from parents. So it is a bit troublesome. So I think that situation can be made easier by asynchronous communication, even recording videos that can be shared asynchronously. Somebody said something about the WhatsApp group. Perhaps you cannot see it because I have to accept it. So I will be accepting you.
Yeah, because you can't simply join it. You need to be accepted.
Yes, I have all the people to accept.
Exactly.
So don't worry, I will be accepting them.
There are too many spams and scammers nowadays. So we just have to be very careful on who we will let in.
I am already accepting you.
Glad to see you are here. Yes. Of course, we are all happy to have Miss Silvana here. Hi, Miss Chia. Okay, it seems like some of you know each other very well.
Well, someone is making a point about synchronous and asynchronous communication. Yes, it's not that you cannot make a synchronous meeting, but for example, in the case of my project, I give it as an option. For example, perhaps I will soon make a virtual meeting for teachers to connect synchronously, just as a presentation, also optional, but not with the students. With students, it will be, at least in my project, it is optional. Of course, there are moments in which some projects ask or consider it a must to have synchronous communication, but that is not my case. Someone said, that's great, we can meet online once in a while. Definitely. Yes, definitely, because, well, meeting online once in a while reinforces the sense of community. It's not the same when you meet someone and you see someone speaking to you directly, like when you read. But, well, we need to try a way out in case we cannot make it. Yeah.
So somebody just asked about the attendance link. Okay, I will share.
I don't know if there is any other question that I didn't answer.
No, it's okay. That's
Well,
similar.
this is the book I was telling you about. Yes, this is the book I was telling you about that I published last April.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, the book contains a very brief summary of project-based learning, of telecollaboration, of the inclusion of technology in project-based learning, or how project-based learning changed with the coming of technology. And then it includes 12 projects of very different areas in which I took part with my students in different moments. Some projects are from primary school and other projects are from secondary school. And you have the whole development of the project with all the steps, with the products created by students, for you to see that there are hundreds of possibilities. I believe it's a methodology we need to try it out, and we tend to fall in love with it.
Exactly. Can you show the book again, Miss Silvana? We want to
Yes,
see it. That's a huge accomplishment of yours there. Oh, wow. So how do you
yes.
pronounce it in Spanish?
The name in Spanish is Aprendizaje basado en proyectos, investigación, creación y colaboración mediados por tecnología.
It's a mouthful. But see, everybody, you can buy that book and you can teach your students not just English but Spanish too. You know, so you'll never know. That's very
Yes, of
interesting.
course. You will be learning a bit of everything, a bit of
Yeah.
project-based learning and a bit of Spanish too.
Yeah.
But well,
So it's
today with the
what's the
translator, the language is not a problem. It's not so much of a problem.
exactly the content that matters more. So what is it in English, Miss Silvana? Could you translate it? The title of the book?
Yes, the title of the book in English is Project-Based Learning, Research, Creation, and Collaboration Mediated by Technology.
Excellent. So everybody, you hear the title of the book. So it's not just for
In
English.
the link I included, if you want to get it, you can buy the digital form, the ebook. Yes, the ebook is available in Amazon. The ebook is available in Google Play, and the ebook is available in Noveduk, that is the publishing house for the book.
And based on the title, obviously it's not just meant for language class or English. It can work for any subject. And I
Yes,
know
definitely.
that most
In
of our
fact,
teachers here are from are teaching different subjects. So yeah, you can use that. You can use it in ICT. You can use it for co-curricular activities, for innovation, and all sort of
yes, because for
projects.
example, as an example, when I decided to choose which project to include in the book, I tried to take projects from different areas of knowledge, just because of that, for teachers to see that you can adopt this methodology no matter what subject you are teaching. In fact, as I told you, I teach English as a foreign language, and I have been participating in a project on climate change for more than 5 years. And I am not a biology teacher, and I am not a geography teacher, or I am not a science teacher. Yeah. But well, it was something that got my interest, and I am still learning about climate change nowadays.
Yeah, it's a very important concern, a very important topic for us to educate our students about, to save the planet. So that's a noble cause, Miss Silvana. Keep it up. Climate
Yeah.
change, sustainable development goals, definitely.
Then I can share my PowerPoint, my presentation, if you want to share it with the people in the room.
Yeah,
I don't have any.
you can
I don't
share.
have any problem.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Silvana. So, you can send it to me, and I'll share it with the rest on our Telegram group, or you can share it on the WhatsApp group too. I think most of these teachers are joining the WhatsApp group, so we can stay in touch on that group.
Definitely, definitely.
I think so.
Well, thanks
I think
for the
Miss Silvana,
invitation. It has been a pleasure to be
yeah,
with
you
you this
definitely,
morning.
definitely has been pleasure. I think I think our teachers are getting a little tired. You are probably busy with some work. It's school day, so thank you so much, Miss Silvana. So before you leave, could you stop sharing and could we just take group picture, everybody? That's mandatory. It's a must. So let's take
Yes.
group pictures. So everybody, not just me, but try to take pictures too, and then send the best picture to me. Okay, everybody, so turn on your camera because we need that group photo. That's very important. Jafina, group photos too. Okay, Salma. Okay, so and then you share with me later. We'll look at which one is the best. So everybody, I'm going to count 1 until 3. I'll start from 1, 2, and then 3, and then by 3, we'll start snapping. So if you would like to snap, if you like to screenshot, please do so that we can get the best photos. Okay, everybody, turn on your camera. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Definitely, yes. Maybe one day, Miss Silvana will be able to come to Malaysia. She's a
Hopefully.
finalist of global. So she's a former finalist of Global Teacher Prize. So you can apply for that prize if it's not this year has closed, but next year. So Miss Silvana, thank you so much. So for the rest of you, you stay on this Google Meet first because we're going to share the SPL KPM link and also the certificate link. It's something, Miss Silvana. SPL KPM is for the teachers to get credit points for professional development.
Great.
Yeah,
Well, thank you very much for the invitation.
yes,
Have a good day.
yeah, have a good day.
Have a good rest because it's night for you there.
Yes, exactly.
Bye
You
bye.
can say good night to us. Yes. Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Bye. Bye. So
Bye.
everybody join the group and buy her books, a Spanish book. Let me see. Jafina, can you try to join? I'm just going to share the SPLKPM first. Where's the SPLKPM? So we are going to share the SPLKPM link first. Let me see first. I think it's somewhere here. No. Okay, it's this one. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Miss Alvina has shared the SPLKPM link. So everybody click on that link. Okay, try to click on that link. We will deactivate it perhaps by tomorrow. All right. So yeah. So everybody make sure you fill in the for if you are teachers, you definitely need to do that, the SPLKPM link. If you are students or if you are not teachers, you don't need to do that. We'll share with you the certificate link. Jafina, I'm going to share the certificate. Is the certificate link. Attendance, okay, the attendance one. My God, I'm still recording. I need to stop recording first. I'm going to share the recording on our Telegram group or Telegram channel, so you can